Good afternoon and welcome to Navigating the USMC. Matt Songer here. I want to talk about MOSs in the Marine Corps, or jobs. So MOSs are Marine Occupational Specialties, and it's what you do on a daily basis in the Marine Corps. You don't just join, go out in the field and have fun, or go camping. It's not what it's about. You actually have a job. So, and there's a lot of jobs, right? As you're going to see here. So starting off, you have O1 Field Personnel Administration, O2, which is intelligence, O3, infantry, O4, which is the logistics, O5, Marine Air Ground Task Force, O6 is communications, O8 is field artillery, O9 is training, 11 is utilities, 13, engineer construction facilities and equipment, 18, amphibious assault vehicles, 21, ground ordnance maintenance, 23, ammunition and explosive ordnance disposal, 26, signals intelligence, ground electronic warfare, 27, linguists, 28, ground electronics maintenance, 30, supply and administration and operations, 31, distribution management, 33, food service, 34, financial management, 35, motor transport career, 41, morale, welfare and recreation, 44, legal services, 45, communication strategy, 55, music, 57, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense, 58, military police and corrections, 59, electronics maintenance, 60, 61, 62, aircraft maintenance, 63 and 64, avionics, 65, aviation ordnance, 66, aviation logistics, 68, meteorology and oceanography, 70, airfield services, 72, air control, air support, anti-air warfare, air traffic control, 73, navigation, officer, enlisted flight crews, 80, miscellaneous requirement MOSs. So as you can see, there's quite a few. Now, all but one of these requires zero experience when you join the Marine Corps, and that's music. In order to get into the music program in the Marine Corps, you actually do have to take a music test. So if you're really good at what you do in your high school band, maybe this is an opportunity for you if you want to continue on. Now, each one of those fields has multiple jobs that falls under that. And it's really on to you to figure out what it is that you want to do. Now, one cool thing that most people don't truly realize is that when you join the Marine Corps for a certain job, let's say you do that job for 3 or 4 years, and you're not happy with it. You really want to, you learn a little bit more about the Marine Corps, you learn the ins and outs, you figure out what's going on, and you decide you want to do something else. You can do what's called a lateral move. When you do a lateral move, you actually apply to change your job from what you are currently doing to the job that you actually want to do. So you're not stuck in something, and you don't have to have that buyer's remorse. You can always change your jobs. Now, in addition to primary jobs in the Marine Corps, there are also additional duties, special duty assignments. Special duty assignments are basically a way that, the way I like to look at it is it's kind of like a payback tour, right? You're paying the Marine Corps back for the opportunities that you had. Now, these payback tours or these special duty assignments are recruiting duty, drill instructor duty, Marine Security Guard, Security Forces, and Marine Corps Special Operations Command. Now, personally myself, I did recruiting duty. As a recruiter, you go to school for 8 weeks, and you learn the ins and outs of sales techniques, public speaking, and how to be the face of the Marine Corps. Because at the end of the day, you really are the face of the Marine Corps. You're out there in the civilian population, and you're looking to attract qualified individuals to join the ranks of the Marine Corps. If you're not in the Marine Corps, or if you've seen a Marine Corps recruiter walking around, look, they're not scary people. They have a job to do. And they're out there to, like I said, to find qualified individuals to join the ranks of the Marine Corps. If you do happen to see a Marine Corps recruiter and you are curious about opportunities in the Marine Corps, just stop them and say, hey, sergeant, staff sergeant, whatever the case might be, hey, I got a few questions for you. Would you mind? I guarantee you they're going to stop and answer your questions. So take advantage of it. At the end of the day, maybe you don't want to ask them a question. Just stop them and say thank you for your service. Because the hours that these ladies and gentlemen are putting in are absolutely ridiculous. They're under a lot of pressure because they do have to meet a certain quota of people that they have to join the Marine Corps, because the Marine Corps has to fill its ranks. So don't be afraid. Just stop and say hi. Drill instructors. Okay, on the opposite side of things, these are not happy people. All right, I take that back. So drill instructors, Marines have to apply to that, and they, once they get accepted, they do go to a school, and that school is basically like going to boot camp all over again. It's like revisiting hell. Like, you've been to hell, you get out of hell, you go into the Fleet Marine Force, and then you're like, hey, I want to go back to hell. Weird people. But I will say that being a drill instructor is a very, very demanding duty in the Marine Corps. They work very long hours. They spend an infinite amount of time away from their families. They are sleep deprived, and they are, basically, trusted with the grueling responsibility of turning a civilian into a United States Marine. They work very hard to get where they're at. They, constantly putting out lots of energy. My hat's off to them. MSG duty, Marine Security Guard, that's where you have the ability to go fall under the State Department. You do have to apply to this, and you do have to get it accepted, and you do have to pass a, you got to get a top secret clearance, and you have to, pass a polygraph test. It's a very grueling assignment. You do go through a psychological evaluation to see if you can, if you're fit for the duty. They do have some pretty strict tattoo requirements, and this is one of those special duty assignments that are in high demand, and one of the very few special duty assignments that you can do as early as the rank of Lance Corporal. So I highly recommend this one. Get out there to a U.S. embassy around the world. Get to meet, get involved with different cultures, make some connections within the State Department. There's security forces. Typically, that's an infantry special duty assignment. When I was a recruiter, we did have some Marines, or some police rather, that they joined for the security force option, where they go straight to security forces after you get done with their MOS school. They do that for a period of time, and then they go off to their infantry battalion. And then there's Marine Corps Special Operations Command. This is not for the faint of heart. Marine Corps Special Operations Command is the cream of the crop. These are the guys that are, just thrill seekers. They're very highly specialized in what they do. If you are interested in Marine Corps Special Operations Command or MARSOC, definitely do some research. Figure out what's going on. Okay. While we're talking about MOSs, I think it's also important to talk about service limitations. So there are service limitations in the Marine Corps. You do have to achieve a certain rank before a certain number of years, or else you'll be forced out of the Marine Corps. Now, as follows here, this was recently published in June, so this is published last month. So the current service limitations are as follows. Now, at the rank of corporal, right, you have to get promoted past the rank of corporal by the time you hit 8 years. You have to get promoted past the rank of sergeant by 12 years. Now, once you hit the rank of staff sergeant, you can, go to a full retirement age of 20 years in the Marine Corps. As a gunnery sergeant, you can go up to 22 years. And as a first sergeant mass sergeant, you can go up to 27 years. Now, naturally, as a sergeant major or a master gunnery sergeant, you can go all the way up to 30 years. There's some waiver opportunities in there, but for the most part, enlisted Marines are capped out at 30 years. Okay. And the reason I bring that up as far as service limitations is because some MOS fields are going to promote faster than others. So now, and the reason they do that is based off of size. The Marine Corps is authorized a certain amount of E1s, E2s, E3s, E4s, E5s, all the way up to E9. And it's the same on the officer side, right? Larger MOSs have more opportunities for promotion. So if you're looking at the 06 field, the 06 field is very large. The 03 field is very large. The 01 field is very large. So they need more numbers. So, gradually, it's only natural that there's more promotion opportunities. Now, with that being said, that does not mean those promotion opportunities are going to be handed to you. It's highly competitive. So, of course, it's always going to pay dividends for you to do some research, educate yourself, and stay competitive with your peers. So that way, when it does come time for promotion, you're not missing out. Okay, let's talk about bonuses, right? While we're talking about MOSs, you join the Marine Corps, and you do, typically it's a 4-year enlistment. Well, it's 8 years. It's 4 years active, and then you promise to serve 4 years in inactive reserve, so you could be called back to service, right? However, let's say you decide to re-enlist and you want to do another 4 years of active service. Or, just like I said earlier, you have potential lat move opportunities. So, I want to bring up the Selective Retention Bonus Program for FY24. Now, this bonus program for FY24 begins October 1st. The fiscal year for the Marine Corps begins, October 1st and it ends September 30th. Now, this is one of those important ones you might want to pay attention to, right? Because it's all about money. So let's go down here. Eligibility. Marines who reenlist on or after 1 June of 2023 are eligible for the FY24 SRB. Eligibility includes any regular component first term or career Marine with an ECC, that's end current contract, from 1 October 23 to 30 September of 24. So basically, it goes into terms, comes up on re-enlistment. Every year there's an SRB program that basically entices Marines to stick around, re-enlist or perform a lateral move or go on to a B billet. It really is, the Marine Corps is trying to direct Marines to where they need them to be, so that way they can be successful. And in this SRB program, there are multiple different kickers, and those are SRB kickers are just additional money paid to you, additional bonus money paid to you for re-enlisting in certain programs. So now there's the Early Re-enlistment Authority Program. First-term Marines with an end current contract from 1 October 24 to 30 September 25 who re-enlist upon commencement of the program. The ERA program is set to begin 1 December. Prior service regular component Marines who re-enlist back into the active component with less than 4-year break in service between regular component contracts are eligible to receive a BSSRB per reference C and the amounts outlined. So they're even offering Marines who've gotten out to come back into the Marine Corps with less than a 4-year break. What's that mean? Numbers are down, right? So they need to entice people to come back in. And I have met a plenty amount of Marines who've gotten out because, and they ended up coming back in because the grass wasn't always greener. Anyway, let's talk about these bonuses real quick. Aircraft maintenance kicker, $25,000. Air traffic control kicker, $30,000. 72-month lateral move kicker, $40,000. 24-month FMF infantry kicker, $20,000. 36-month FMF infantry kicker, $27,000. FY25 early re-enlistment kicker, $15,000. Now let's talk about how can you capitalize. Well, per the Smart Admin, if I re-enlist early, I'm going to get $15,000 if I'm an E5 and below. Typically, that's a first-termer, right? Now, let's say I'm an air traffic controller. I'm going to get $15,000 plus I'm going to get $30,000. My re-enlistment bonus is going to be $45,000. Now, if that's not enticing, I don't know what is. That's quite a few dollars that you're going to get, which, it's a bonus when you do your re-enlistment and you're still getting your regular, paychecks. So that's not bad at all. What could you do with $45,000? All right, let's scroll down here. Let's go down to All right, let's go down to zones, right? Zone reenlistments. Now, when you see LM next to an MOS, that means lat move. That means, they want you to lat move into that MOS. So 0211, counterintelligence, right? They want to entice people to lat move over to the 0211 field. There is an application process. It's grueling. This is not like, oh, cool, they want me to 0211. All right, yeah, sure, I'll do it. It's very selective, right? They're offering a lot of money and they're looking for quality, so there's going to be some work involved. $65,000 to lat move into the counter intel. Well, don't forget though, that's $65,000 plus if you do the early reenlistment kicker, that's another what? $15,000, right? The early reenlistment kicker. So we're going to take $15,000 plus we're going to apply to be an 0211 for $65,000. If approved, that's $80,000 in your pocket. That is not a bad deal. Who could use $80,000? There's other lat move opportunities. There is 0241. If you're in the infantry MOSs, 0313, there's a $17,000 lat move bonus or reenlistment bonus. Oh, that is a lat move. There's $18,000. 0321, $53,000. If you're in E5, they're going to pay you $57,000. Don't forget, we got that early reenlistment kicker of $15,000, so we add that on top of it. 0372, you can capitalize on $60,000 as a sergeant. 0431. So for a Lance Corporal, which is an E3, under 4 years, you do an early reenlistment, plus you do a lateral move over to 0431. That's $12,000 plus an additional $15,000 if you do early reenlistment. Now, scrolling down here, these are large dollar amounts. $40,000, $50,000, and this is just for first-term Marines. Now let's go to Zone B. Zone B applies to those active component Marines with 6 to 10 years of service. All right. Now, coming up on 10 years of service. All right, I'm going to get out. Look, me personally, if you invested 10 years, it only makes sense to keep going, right? 20 years is a retirement. However, if you're in certain MOSs, you get a nice bonus attached to that. So for a staff sergeant in E6 and above, and you're in the Zone B from 6 to 10 years, you're looking at getting a $51,000 bonus. 0231, $32,000 bonus. 0372 with doing a lat move. If you decide to lat move, that's a $55,000 bonus. These bonuses are very lucrative. Let's see. Oof. All right, so I'm an 0681, and it is a lat move MOS. Now, I did a lat move as a staff sergeant, and I'm going to tell you right now, a $45,000 bonus to lat move into my job field upsets me. And it upsets me because I got $0. There was no lat move bonus when I did my lat move. But for anybody that's going to capitalize on this and take that $45,000, hey, congratulations. More power to you. I'm not going to hate on you. So, go ahead and scroll through here. There are many bonus opportunities, even as far as Zone C, which is 10 to 14 years of service. So you can literally capitalize, and there are so many bonuses available. Now, just remember, this is a one-time bonus, and you're still getting paid. You're still getting your first and your paycheck on the 1st and the 15th. So that's not a bad deal. With these kind of bonuses, you can really reset your debt, or if you're already financially secure, you can really start to invest that money and capitalize. So I thought it was a good idea when we're talking about MOSs, we're talking about service limits, we're talking about special duty assignments, which special duty assignments have their own bonuses tied to them. I thought it was a really good idea to talk about, different bonuses that you can get for re-enlisting or also lat moving into different MOS, into different job fields. So I really hope that I provided some good value for you today. Do your research, right? If you do have questions, by all means, throw them down in the comments. I would love to answer your questions. so that way you can capitalize on that information and do what's best for you and your family. Right? Stay safe. Semper Fi. That's out.